Today we're here to show you how to set up the Rega Planar 6 turntable. In just a few simple steps, we'll have you enjoying some great music on your new Planar 6. And when we're done, we'll give you some turntable setup tips as to where to best place your turntable for the optimum performance in your system. First, we'll make the audio and power connections. We feel like it's easier to do this first before you have the turntable fully set up in case you have to spin things around to get everything plugged in. If you've got the Rega with one of the moving magnet cartridges, you'll go into a moving magnet section. If you got an Anya or an Effeta or another moving coil, it will need to go into a moving coil phono preamp. The cables are labeled with a red stripe for right channel and the other one is for your left channel. The Rega Planar 6 is a little different from the 1, 2, or 3 in that it has a separate outboard power supply that requires just a couple more connections. Next, we're going to connect the external power supply to the back of the Planar 6. The connector has a flat side that points up and it will just seat itself right in the back slot. Just press it till it's firmly in there. Now take the other end of the cable and connect it up to your Neo power supply. It goes in the same way with the flat side up. Just gently push it in until it seats firmly. Finally, for the last power connection, take the little external power supply. It has in like this and it goes into this little connection on the back where it says 24V AC. Just plug it in all the way till it stops. Next, we're going to pull out the protective cardboard piece. Just loosen up, take it out. And it's a good idea to save this because it's the best way to protect your bearings should you ever move your turntable. Next, we want to install the belt. The belt just wraps around the outer pulley and goes on the motor spindle right here. Give it a little spin to center it up, and that part's good. Next, we're going to put the outer glass platter on the inner platter. Just gently lower it and it will center itself up and be a solid fit. The next step is to remove the tape that's securing the tone arm down in its rest. Just take it off and discard that. Next, we want to remove the Stylus guard. Here, just be careful. It just pulls straight down on this cartridge. The Anya cartridge and some of the moving coils, it's a little bit different. It pulls out towards the front, but on this one, it pulls straight down. It's a great idea to hang on to this Stylus guard. If you ever have to move your table, you're going to want to put this back on. Next, we're going to install the counterweight. Make sure the arm is locked down. This lock should be in the position here covering up the arm. And then gently just kind of twist this onto the back of the arm. It is a little stiff on the Planar 6. We want to go about halfway in. After you've got the platter on, we're going to set up the tone arm. Now we're ready to set the tracking force to get it to 0. So what you want to do is carefully move the arm over, make sure your Q lever's down, and this back counterweight is what helps us out here. So if it's too far to the rear, the arm is going to fly up in the air. If it goes too far to the front, it's going to drop down. The idea is to get it to float. And it'll tend to drift back to the rest just a little bit, but that's floating pretty good right about there. Once you're done, lock the arm back down. Now we're going to apply the tracking force. This is your tracking force knob, and you want to turn it towards the back of the turntable. You'll need to know the tracking force of your cartridge before you start. In the case of this cartridge, it's 1.75 grams. So we turn it, there's the 1, there's 1.5, and there's 2. So on this one, we just go halfway between 1.5 and 2 to get to 1.75. Now we're going to set the anti-skating. It's under the tone arm, so make sure your Q lever is up. Move the arm over a little bit, and this is just a little slider. And in our case, we're going to slide it to just a little bit less than 2. This doesn't have to be that precise, but we're trying to get it to close to the cartridge tracking force weight. And then you can put your arm back in the rest and lock it down. Now we're ready to play a record. You turn the Planar 6 on from the Neo power supply. This little switch over here on the left side will engage power and it'll start to spin up. And it's pretty neat here. You don't have to take the platter off to switch speeds. You can just push this button in or out to switch between 33 and 45. In is 45, out is 33. Now we're ready to play your first record. Make sure the Q lever is in the up position, unlock your tone arm, and then move it over above the lead out groove. A great thing about Rega tables is they have a little center screw, and you can use that as a guide to line it up with the outer record lead-in. So we've got that lined up, then just drop the cue mechanism, and you're playing your first record. Once you're satisfied everything sounds great, install the dust cover. It just clips in these little slots in the back of the turntable. Drop it in till it's snug, and your dust cover is installed. We said we'd give you a few tips. First, the signal coming out of a turntable is really low in level, and you don't want to try to extend these cables at all. Use the cables as they are with your table. Next, on the Planar 6, the Neo has a pretty long cord for the power supply, and if you can get this far away from your turntable, that would be great. We would not recommend putting it on a shelf directly below your turntable, because you could get some hum pickup from this. And finally, don't put your turntable between your speakers or on top of a subwoofer. They should be a decent distance away from your speakers, at least 5 to 6 feet. Especially don't put it on the same shelf as speakers if those speakers have deep bass. If you have to locate your turntable close to speakers, some phono preamps have a subsonic filter built in you can kick on to help eliminate any feedback that might occur. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to our channel. On our channel, we review great audio brands from all around the world. And thanks for watching.